So thanks so much for checking out my project Asinine. Asinine is like a love letter to some of like my favorite artists and short stories from like the golden age of comics. So if you're like a fan of like easy comics, like stuff from like Wally Wood, Bill Elder stuff, or even like Mad Magazine, or even like the old 70s horror stuff and science fiction stuff, or even like Plop, which not a lot of people know about, and this has never been released as far as I know, on like a collected or combination or graphic novel. You only get these still on like the single issues, so these are kind of rare. This is probably the project for you. I am very much a fan of this type of work, stuff that is long since past, stuff that we'll probably never ever see again. Some of the greatest stories I think came out of these kinds of anthologies and time periods. So if you're interested in that, look no more. As I was working on other projects that I currently have in the works, I began to notice that, probably due to my advancing age, yeah, I probably look young, but I'm actually a lot older than you think I am. There were certain like social stigmas that are happening all over the place, and it's all mainly due to technology. Like, people are constantly on their phones. People are constantly, they can't think for themselves. They have to have a device to think for them, and just the simple basic things that make us who we are as human beings has been lost. And the more I thought about it, the more I see this every day as I go to work, as I drive, as I go shopping, as I go grocery shopping or whatever. It's just, there are little things that are just like, what? Really? Does it have to be this difficult? And no, it doesn't have to be this difficult. And I decided, you know what? I need to write about this. So I wrote about this. I work right now in the financial institution, and like identity theft. Why is there identity theft? That's ridiculous. This shouldn't exist. Why is it that I have to like become a race car driver just to drive from one place to another, just like a mile or two, just around in my neighborhood? I'm like, why? Why is it so hard to do this? So that's what this comic is about. Certain things that are they're just asinine, absolutely ridiculous. They shouldn't even exist, but they do. And I had to draw it. I had to write it. And I came up with these 3 short stories. One, as I mentioned before, is about identity theft. The other one is about driving, which I mentioned. And then my wife came home. She was going to the doctors, and just like, she was just frustrated and just like all this stupid stuff. And I said, you know what? That sounds like an asinine story. So she wrote me a short story, and that's what this is. This is what this project is. This is something that has just been in my head for so long, and it just had to come out. So if you want to fund this project, please do, because it's as you can tell, I'm very passionate. As you can see, my hands are moving all over the place. I used to be a theater major a long time ago, and I'm as I said before, a real big fan of the original stuff. As you can see, I've got like original pulps, and there's some shadow stuff. I'm into this stuff. So if you're into this stuff, this project will be perfect for you. Please, if this project doesn't get finished or funded, I'm going to stop, because this has taken up so much of my time and energy, and I really want to get this out there for people to see. No one has seen this yet, other than a few choice people, but it hasn't been released. I want this to be released. It needs to be released. So please, let's kick Asinine in its ass and get it out in the world. Thank you for looking, and pledge. Bye, guys.